Now, again, will you hit the lights for me? Thank you so much. All right. So again, we did introduction, then we did simplifying, then we did adding and subtracting, multiplying, and now technically we're dividing, but it's not really dividing, okay? Meaning the mathematicians got together, there's no way to divide a rational number by an irrational number. And I still don't know why it's necessary. All right. But the mathematicians got together and decided that you're not allowed to have an irrational number in the denominator. So again, it's really, really simple, really simple. For whatever reason, they decided you're not allowed to have an irrational number in the denominator. So you have to eliminate that. All right. Now it's okay to have an irrational number in the numerator, it's just not in the denominator. So what we do is we say to get rid of that square root of 3 in the denominator, all you're doing is multiplying the top and bottom by the square root of 3, or you're multiplying by whatever the radical is. So here we're just going to multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 3. That's called rationalizing the denominator. Why is it called rationalizing? Because the denominator right now is irrational, and now it's what? It's rational, because the square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. And then you're multiplying 2 times radical 3, which is just 2 radical 3. All right. Now, again, that's called rationalize the denominator. Please don't make it any harder than it is. All right. That's it. That's all there is. All right. So now we look at question number 3. You're going to multiply the top and bottom by radical 5. That is correct. So I'm going to multiply by radical 5, multiply by radical 5. I end up with 10 radical 5 over 5. Now, what can I do with the 10 and the 5? Yeah, reduce it, right? We're just going to reduce it. So your final answer here is 2 radical 5. All right, it's 2 radical 5. Any issues with that? All right, let's take a look at number 5. All right, so again, multiplying the top and bottom by radical 3. And now I have, when I multiply 2 times radical 3, I get what?
2 minus 3.
Nope.
2 minus 3.
2 radical 3. Thank you. Now I need to multiply radical 3 by radical 3, which is what? 3. So that's 2 radical 3 minus 3 over, and now radical 3 times radical 3 is just what? 3. All right, that's all there is to it. We did yesterday a binomial times a monomial, so it's not really, shouldn't be that big of a deal. You're just multiplying the square root of 3 by 2 and the square root of 3 by the square root of 3. That's your answer. All right, that's it. Nothing else to it. Now, a lot of kids accidentally say, well, can I reduce that? And the answer is obviously what? No, because you are bounded by addition and subtraction. You cannot reduce through addition and subtraction. You can only reduce through multiplication and division. Anybody have any issues before we move on? All right, I told you, very easy, very easy. All right, here we go. Number 7, multiplying the top and bottom by radical 11. So here we go. 2 radical 11 minus radical 33. That is a great review of yesterday. So those of you guys who know that, understand you're only multiplying radicals together and multiplying numbers together. We're not multiplying a number and a radical together. So now what's square root of 11 times square root of 11? There's your answer. That's it. All right, let's check out number 9. Multiplying the top and bottom by radical 5. Radical 5. All over. Now, can I reduce the 5 into 35 or the 5 into 15?
Yes. So it would just be.
Can I reduce the 5 and the radical 35?
No.
No, you cannot. This is called a rational number. This up here is called a what? Irrational. You can't divide irrational and rational. You can't multiply rational and irrational.
What's going to do because the 35 is inside of that?
That's what that means. Irrational means it's a square root. All right, which means cannot be written as a fraction. All right. Here we go. 11. Now, everyone, please hear me. Square root of 12. You should always reduce the fraction first. Radical 12. Everybody in here now should be able to say, well, I know radical 12 is just what? Nope. 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 Stop. Radical 12 is the same as what? Thank you. Whoever said 2 radical 3. I appreciate you. 2 radical 3. All right, we've done it enough now. You shouldn't have to tell me 12 is 4 times 3 and then the square root of 4 is 2. Now, if you're sitting there going, I have no idea how you got 2 radical 3 from the square root of 12, I'd like to hear from you so we can get you caught up. Anybody have any issues? Now, is it possible to reduce the 14 and the 2? Yes, because those are both rational numbers. So 14 divided by 2 is?
7.
So now we have 7 over radical 3. Now what do I have to do?
Make it rational.
Rationalize the denominator. Thank you, which means I'm multiplying the top and bottom by radical 3. Final answer.
7 radical 3 over 3.
Yep, 7 radical 3 over 3. Max, how you doing, bud? All right. Here we go. Let's check out 13. Now, we've done square root of 72 several times, and I told you 72 is a common problem. All right. So does anybody remember what the square root of 72 breaks down to? No. Stop. 9 and 8 is a possibility, but that's not the largest. Come on. 72. Thank you. 36 times 2. That is correct. So I would want everyone to just be able to tell me radical 72 is the same as 6 radical 2. All right, 6 radical 2. Now I can reduce. All right, so I end up with 6 over radical 2. Now I have to do what? Rationalize the denominator. So now it becomes 6 radical 2 over 2. And your final answer after all that is 3 radical 2. Good. 3 radical 2. All right, here we go. 15. Yep, you don't have to do the 4. You're just multiplying the top and bottom by radical 2. So that gives me 3 radical 2 over 8. Thank you. Come on, think about it for a second before you just automatically say why. What's radical 2 times radical 2? What's the square root of 2 times square root of 2? 2. All right, there we go. Okay, really, that's the extent of the new stuff. All right, so then what I wanted to do is I just decided to give you some extra practice. So let's work on the radicals now. All right, for 17.
4 radical 3.
Come on now, I want everybody to do better.
1.
Radical 3 times radical 3 is what?
3.
Don't say 9 anymore. Say what? 3.
So it's just 12.
3 times 4, 12. Now, at any moment, I'm telling you for 2 straight years, you can stop me and say, hey, just repeat that one more time. Anybody need help with that? All right, here we go. Now, does everybody agree I have fractions here?
Yeah.
Can I reduce fractions? Yes. 9 and 9, 5 and 5.
3 and 3.
So this is just the square root of 1. And what's the square root of 1? 1. So I'm trying to tell you that your rules for fractions apply if the numbers are both under the radical. Is everybody with me on this? Just like on number 21. 11 over 22 can reduce to what? 1/2. Thank you. Now, can this reduce before I rationalize?
Yes.
Yes, you always want to do that.
3 over 3.
So that wouldn't just be 3,
Radical 3 over 3.
radical 3. Do I have to put over 1?
No, you don't.
No. So my final answer here is radical 3 over 2. Yes.
Where did you get the radical?
What's 15 divided by 5? You with me now? Good job, kiddo. All right, speak up now if you're not sure about something. Everybody's good? All right, help me out. 9 radical 3 minus 5 radical 3. 4 radical 3. Beautiful. Anybody have any issues? Uh-oh. Now, who remembers radical 54?
Uh,
9
37.
times 6.
Now, again, thank you, Tucker. I always tell kids there's usually a clue in the problem.
oh,
The other one, right? So 9 times 6 is 54. So 54 breaks down to what?
9 radical 6.
9 radical 6. Now, why technically is it 9 radical 6? Because there's an extra 3 out here. So I'm just going to make sure you're good. All right, I'm making the notes. What's the square root of 9?
3.
So when you pull that out, there's already a what?
3.
3 out there. So 3 times 3. So now it's 9 radical 6 minus 2 radical 6, which is
Oh, 7.
7 radical 6. All right, here we go. 18. What is 18?
9 and 2.
9 and 2. Now, what's the square root of 9?
3.
3.
Negative 30.
Negative 30 radical 2.
And then.
Wait a minute. Negative 30 radical 2. Now, as I try to tell kids all the time, there's like a clue. Most people forget 32 is what?
That's 16.
16 times 2. Most kids forget that's 16 times 2. They do 8 and 4 and then have to break it down. But we know 32 is 16 times 2. So when I pull out the 16, it becomes minus 20 radical 2. So altogether, that is minus 50 radical 2. Minus 50 radical 2. All right, anybody else? Anybody? Okay, 29. What am I doing?
4 radical 3.
Yeah, some people now can just look at it and tell me what the answer is. There's no work. You should be able to look at that and just say that's what?
4 radical 3.
4 radical 3 over 3. You're just multiplying the top and bottom by square root of 3. 4 radical 3 over 3. All right, here we go. 31.
would it be, I'm probably wrong, but would it be 3 plus 5 over 5?
Somebody help him.
Radical 15.
Radical 15 over 5. 15, 3 over 3. Radical 3. Radical 15 over 5. Oh, yeah.
Radical 15 over 5. Remember, there's no addition here, right? It's all multiplication. You're rationalizing the denominator. Now look, again, the reason I put enough problems on here is so you get the practice. Make a mistake. Try it first. Make a mistake. Correct yourself. Writing down my answers, just going through the motions. Wednesday is going to be a nightmare again. Come on. Anybody have any issues with 31? All right, here we go. So now we have multiplication. 5 times 5, 25. Now we have the smiley face.
5 radical, -5 radical 3.
Second smiley face.
5 radical 3.
And then
3.
what kind of 3?
There's
Negative.
-3.
Yeah.
So now everybody's telling me what happens here.
Cancel out.
So your final answer after all that, 22. Everybody good? All right. Now again, let's just do ourselves a favor. Let's erase the 2. Let's go back to 5 minus radical 3. Come on now, come on. 5 times 5, 25. What's this?
-5 radical 5.
What's this?
5 radical 3 negative.
-5 radical 3. And then what's this? Thank you, +3. Come on, someone else join in. All right. So now think about it. Final answer.
28 radical.
28
Say it again.
28 minus 10 radical 3.
Which is
28 minus 10 radical 3, which is 18.
no. That's your answer. Remember, you can't add and subtract because they're not the same. This is irrational. This is rational. Don't make that mistake. Correct yourself. Anybody have any issues? All right, here we go. This one's an ugly one. All right, here we go. This times this. Somebody tell me what that is.
8 radical 35.
8 radical 35. First smiley face.
12 minus 12 radical 7.
Second smiley face.
28 radical 5.
Possible.
Positive.
And then
And then it's 42 negative.
now what can I combine?
You can combine the 30.
Nothing. You're right. Nothing.
Because they're irrational.
You're right. I can combine nothing. Because what goes with radical 35s? Radical 35s. What goes with radical 7s? And so on and so forth. All right. You can't combine them unless they're the same radical. All right. You can multiply. You cannot add or subtract. All right. Here we go. Now all I have to do is multiply the top and bottom by radical 5. So the top becomes 2 radical 5 minus radical 15 all over 15. Thank you. Right? Because radical 5 times radical 5 is 5. 5 times 3, 15. What?
Can you please say the top?
Radical 5 times 2. No, this is not a, right, it's not a radical, right? And then radical 5 times 3. Notice we can put those together because they're both radicals. 2 is not a radical, so I can't multiply that and make it 10. It's just 2 radical 5. Agreed? What? All right, good. Here we go. 40. That can't be all.
That is.
Maybe I have another one.
Secretary's not giving us enough time.
Yeah, that was definitely a little
Yeah,
shorter than
we-
I'd want.
We still have 19 minutes.
Yeah, so listen, really though, the intent is not to have homework over the weekend. All right? So don't waste time. All right, do the odds or do the evens. All right, get it done in class. All right. So again, practice. Monday, we have the review. Tuesday, the review. Wednesday is our last test before the end of the 9 weeks. All right, I'll post the video right now.